भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन प्रपिता पुराणमुनिः मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततां भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। Chapter 8, 15, verse 15.
15, yeah.
Mamupedya punarjanma dukkhalaya saraswatam napnuvanti manaha samsiddhim paramam gati gataha Mahatmanaha, the wise man, upetya, having reached, Mam, me, Dukkha Alayam. Are you hearing, Swamiji?
Yeah, there was some gap was there, but now it's okay. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Dukkha Alayam, abode of misery, are asaswatam, finite. Punarjanma, another birth. Na apnuvanti, do not gain. Paramam samsiddhim, the ultimate success. Gataha, they have reached it. Having reached me, the wise men do not gain another birth, which is the abode of misery and is finite. They have reached the ultimate success.
See, this is in continuation with the last, in the sense that Sulabha, what he was telling, no? That is what he means by Mam Upetya. Mam Upetya meaning understanding. So, there is a bit of he was talking about earlier, people who are yogi. Yogi meaning people who are not yet understood, but they have got that commitment to Ishvara. By meditation, they do pranayama and other yoga practices, yogis, and they also reach me. Either they, because of that meditation, they go to Brahmaloka, get Upadesha from him. Or if they don't get it, they will again come back and learn, understand. But here, the last two verses, he has been talking about what we have earlier, in the sense in terms of understanding. One who has understood, Mam Upetya, having understood, he will not have any punarjanma, that way. In the sense, straight away, Jivan Mukti. He is talking about Jivan Mukti. So we should not get confused. Okay, yeah.
Mam Upetya, gaining me. Here Upetya means reaching in the sense of being of the same nature. How is it possible? If there are two objects, one cannot assume the nature of the other. Each has its own attributes. If one becomes the other, the nature of one or both of them is destroyed. For example, if you add water to milk, you will have a liquid of a different density from either of the original components. Therefore, one object cannot gain identity with another. An object enjoying its own attributes cannot enter into another and remain the same object. Suppose one bhava object is indeed the other bhava, then the separation is only due to ignorance. It is the situation here. Ignorance is the cause of separation between Ishvara and Jiva, and there is an orientation which is also a product of ignorance. Therefore, dwelling on Parameshvara is only to attack that ignorance and to remove that orientation. Gaining identity with Bhagavan is possible because it is an already accomplished fact. Undesirability of further birth. Krishna says further, Punarjanmana apnuvanti. They do not gain rebirth. Two more words tell us the nature of this Punarjanma. You may think it would be desirable to be born again in a better situation, of course. The problem is you will have the same struggle in one form or another because to be born you must necessarily be ignorant. No one is afraid of another birth but only the pain. So Bhagavan makes it clear here. He says that every birth is an abode of pain. Dukkha Alaya. Alaya is a place, Alaya is a place, and Dukkha means pain. There are three types of pain, as we have seen. Adhyatmika, Adhyatmika, Adhyatmika.
Adhyatmika, yeah.
Pain caused by your own body, mind, senses. Adi Bhautika, by the beings around you. And Adi Daivika.
Devika, yeah.
Adi Daivika, by unknown forces over which you have no control whatsoever. Another definition of the physical body is therefore dukkha alaya, an abode of pain. One thing or another is always in trouble. If everything else is alright, you need at least some dental work. Like even a car, the body requires constant maintenance. You have to make sure it has fuel and water. You have to check the parts, and if there is some problem, you have to take it to the garage, the hospital, and you need insurance in case of accidents. Suppose you go to heaven where there is no dukkha, because the physical body you will have there would not be subject to any pain. To cover that, Bhagavan has another word, Ashaswatam. It is not eternal. Even if you gain a celestial body, it is not eternal, and you have to reincarnate with the body that is subject to pain. Although in a celestial body there will not be predominance of pain, there will be some kind of pain. As long as you are an individual, some trace of pain will be there because of the isolation of being a jiva. Eventually, even a celestial body has to be given up because the punya that has taken and kept you there is exhausted, or the abode. Heaven, which is also a part of creation, is itself destroyed. Who are freed from this kind of birth and rebirth? Mahatmanaha, are those whose Atma is Param Brahma. They gain the ultimate success. Paramam Samsiddhim Gataha. Samsiddhi is success. The only real success is moksha, and this they have gained. Parama means it is the most exalted among the Purusharthas. Those who have gained this freedom will not come back again.
Swamiji, can we say Mahatma Gandhi read the Gita and understood his Parabrahma? That's why even though he was involved in this politics, he never was really he was not feeling very unhappy. He felt happy, but he was not. He was more like a Mahatma, we can say, where he was not touched by anything, right? He was untouched by most of the stuff.
No, he had that. See, he had an understanding, and also he believed the simple life and all that. He had that. But how much, whether he, see, the thing is that we really cannot make a judgment as to whether he was in the sense he had that, he said he read Gita and it was helpful, and he had a simple life, he had a value for simple life, and ahimsa paramo dharma, those things were there. Whether he was really what you call Purush, this is what he understood, whether he was, because he was not teaching. Unless you teach, you will not know whether he has, because the teaching sampradaya alone can hand over that understanding to the other person. So unless there is another person who has understood as Mahatma, as a teacher, we cannot say. So it's better not to make, definitely he was accepted as a Mahatma and everyone. So that is how we have to leave it at that. Since he has read Bhagavad Gita that he told also, and he had a value for a simple life and high thinking. And ahimsa paramo dharma was his value.
Even though gaining the Lord is easy, the result is the maximum. On the other hand, gaining a loka is difficult, and the result is dukkha alaya. To choose the latter is a bad bargain. In next section, Bhagavan talks about what a bad bargain it is. In the previous verses, Krishna said that those wise men who have recognized me as their own self do not attain another birth. They do not assume another body, which is by nature subject to pain. But what about the others who do not have this recognition? Where do they go, and what is their lot?
Yeah, again it is going back to that yogi. In the sense, See, the dukkhalayam, what it means is necessarily, not necessarily meaning that he will be crying and all that. It is a question of a separation from Ishvara is separate from me. That is what I was telling that. Mattaha anyaha na. As long as you have that understanding, that only can put an end to the what you call the cycle of birth and death, and unless, because all of us want, what we want is the oneness, total oneness with Ishvara. Why? Because we have conceived Ishvara as the be all and end all. In the sense, all jnanam, all what you call comfort, everything one human being aspires to be has been personified as Ishvara. So unless that Ishvara is attained, you will have some sort of a pain. Even if you go to heaven and all that, you will be comparing yourself with somebody else. Yama will compare with Agni, Agni will, even the Puranas and all have got the stories. Agni, even in the Upanishad, when prana is praised, others are objecting. All those stories are there. In a sense, even among the devatas, there will be plus minus will always be there. That is why that Sarupyam, Samipyam and all that, somebody sits on the lap of Bhagavan, like Dhruva. Dhruva was he felt the other son is sitting on the lap of the king. I am not able to say it. So that sort of a separation. As long as there is two, that is why that I have mentioned that Udaram Antaram Kurute Adatasya Bhayam Bhavati. That the feeling of separation is called dukkha. That is called dukkha in the sense that. So unless the feeling of separation is gone, only by understanding that there is only one, there is no two. So, the oneness alone can give you that complete freedom from dukkha. That is what is mentioned by name. Anything else is dukkha, means an abode of dukkha. So, Parandama is only Parandama that is possible is by understanding only oneness with Ishvara. That is only Paramagati. All those things have been told. So now he is telling what he is going to say is that people who have not understood that but has got all other qualities in terms of they have got yoga, they have got upasana, they have got control over Ashtanga yoga, pranayama, they are able to keep prana in their head and go to Brahmaloka, whenever they want to choose to leave the body they can leave. All those things are there, everything, karma and upasana is complete, but still this separation is there. That is why he says, what happened to them? What is going to happen to them? Again, he is coming back to the upasakas or the yogis. He is going to talk about that. Yeah.
Verse 16, all lokas are limited by time, but having gained me, there is no rebirth. Brahma bhuvana lokaha punaravarti rojuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Arjuna, O Arjuna, Brahma Bhuvanat Lokaha. All the worlds where beings exist up to the world of Brahmaji. Punaravartinaha are subject to return to, however, Mam Upetya, having reached me, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Punarjanma, rebirth, na vidyate, is not there.
When he says, Brahma Bhuvana Lokat, starting from Brahmaloka, even if you go to Brahmaloka, unless you have understood, there is a very likelihood that you will come back. If you have not, because there again, Brahmaji has to teach him the same Tattvamasi. If it doesn't happen, he will come back. That's what so Brahma Bhuvana Lokas, from there to all the 14 Lokas, wherever you have to come back as long as you are separate from Ishvara. Whereas, Mam Upetya, once a person has understood, there is no Punarjanma. That's what he says. Yeah.
Arjuna, all the worlds where beings exist up to the world of Brahmaji are subject to return. However, having reached me, Kaunteya, Arjuna, there is no rebirth.
No, or in other words, it means whatever we do, whatever efforts we take, and then try to learn, and then look inside and learn, get the knowledge, and become a person who goes to the level of Brahma Loka, is always inferior to going to Vishnu Loka or
No. And Vishnu Loka and all. Again, there is no loka. Loka means going and coming back.
Oh, yes.
Understanding, the oneness understanding by understanding your desa kala vastu aparichinnam, that is the same as Ishvara Swarupa. Because there is no what you call, there is no dimension. Dimensionless desa kala vastu aparichinnam is your reality and Ishvara's reality. That understanding alone will take you out of the cycle of birth and death and out of the cycle of going to all lokas, any loka, 14 lokas, Brahma, Bhuvana lokas to 7 plus 7, 14 lokas are there. Wherever you go, whether you do papa and go to Adala, Sudala, Taratala, Patala and all, but down below 7 lokas, and you do punya, go up to Indraloka, Chandraloka and Brahma loka, 7 up and 7 down. 7 down is for papas, 7 up is for punya. Either way, unless you understand that you are one with Ishvara, there is no separation, there is no gaining Ishvara, that is a reality. Unless you understand by knowledge, by Shastra, Acharya, Upadesa, there is a possibility of coming back all the time. So, go for that. That is Sulabha. Understanding is Sulabha rather than making efforts to go to Brahma Loka or Punya Loka. If you do Agnihotram and Darsha Purnamasa, you may go up to Sarga. If you do some still further upasana, you may go to Brahma Loka. Only the gradation differs. But eventually you have to understand that there is no two. Everything else is only a manifestation of the Swarupa of the being, which we have been discussing in the first 6 chapters, what has been told, what in the 7th chapter Bhagavan says, Mataha Anyahana. Unless that understanding happens, he will be going and coming. There is no, that is what is referred to as Dukkalayam. Only by understanding that you are Brahman here and now. Because there is no real gaining, there is no going anywhere. It is a question of understanding. It is a question of removing the ignorance. Because that is a reality. That has to be, and that's what he is stressing on that. Bhagavan stresses to him that Mam Upetya, last verse as well as this verse, by understanding that you are me, that is the only way Punarjanma is not going to happen. Otherwise, you are going to keep coming. You are only doing a trip here and there. That's what he says. That is what we should make it very clear. The whole Tatparya is Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra is, like Swamiji used to say, that all our Sankalpa is Mama Bhakta Duridakshayartam. Actually, our Sankalpa Duridakshaya is meant for what? Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana Shuddhi is meant for what? So that you can sit and study. Study what? That I and Bhavan are one and the same. That understanding. So that should be the Sankalpa. Whereas, even if we don't do, normally we don't do that. We don't say Antakarana Shuddhyartam. We say Duridakshayartam. Duridakshayartam means what? Reducing the papas. So that what we want, we don't want to go to Adala, Vidala, Sutala, 7 lokas down. We want to go 7 lokas up. Because there, relatively, there is less pain. But relatively less pain meaning there is pain. So anyway, you have to come back. That and there again, Shine Punya Matta Lokam Visanti. It is a question of encashing your punya, living a good life, and then again come back. What is the point in doing that? There is no chance that when you come back, you will again learn and understand. You may do papa and go below also. So don't, that is a bad bargain. Swamiji says, all your upasana and karma, mama bhakta samasta duryakshetra, all that should be intelligent way of living is to do all those karma and upasana to gain antakarana shuddhi. Gain antakarana shuddhi for what? So that you can sit and study. You reduce your lifestyle in such a way that you have got enough freedom to understand that freedom is freedom to be a dharmic person at all. No point in time I will be compelled by my likes and dislikes to go against dharma. That karmanyeva adhikara hate, what we have discussed, that karmanyeva adhikara hate, the kartrutvam will be total freedom and free will only when you understand that you are not interested in any pala other than being with Ishvara. So that kartrutvam, the freedom in action, we have to understand. That freedom in action will come only by antakarana shuddhi. Antakarana shuddhi will help you to study, understand that you are freedom. yourself. You are one with Ishvara. You don't have any axe to grind. You don't have any agenda in life. Just live. Swakarma, all those things. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya, siddhim indadim, all those things will come. In the sense, even if your normal living has to be in tune with the understanding that I am free and complete here and now. Whatever I do on this Swakarma. Like that. That only that understanding will help you to be free from birth and death. At the same time, whatever you do, you will be doing Swakarma properly. So that you are one with Bhagavan. Like Bhagavan, why Bhagavan says, Dharma viruddha kamosmi. Like Krishna, he says, I am also doing all the things. But Dharma viruddha kamosmi. I am all my, whatever I do is totally free of Dharma. Why? Because he is Dharma personified. Dharma is Bhagavan. Why Dharma is Bhagavan? Because he knows the whole thing is only a movie. My being is only what is pervading the whole thing. I am what is. Ishvara is my being only, in my Sannidhanam only everything is happening. The same understanding we should also have. In my Sannidhanam only everything is happening. Then there is no pressure in me. I will do whatever I need to do. I will just, wherever I am, whatever role I play, I will play. But all the time, the prajna should be very clear that there is no second. Myself, my Swarupa and Ishvara Swarupa are one and the same. Desakala vastu aparichinnam nirvisesha atma is my reality and Ishvara's reality. There is no second reality. Everything else is changing. The changeless is the only reality. The changing itself exists only because of the changeless. We are able to perceive a world only because I am changeless. A dog or a plant does not perceive a world. It just lives its life and goes. Because it doesn't know anything beyond its own species. Whereas I know, I am the being, I am having this body, this is my role, etc., etc. All the Viseshas I am able to perceive because I am Nirvisesha. And Nirvisesha means what? I am the Desakala Vastu Aparichinam. I am not bound by time. I am not bound by space. I am not an object. I am not a thing. I am the being. And that is the only reality. There cannot be a second reality. Bhagavan cannot be anything other than that. He is also the same. Desakala Vastu Aparichinam. And what about the world in between? The world is keep on changing. It's all happening in my own presence. My blessing, it is all happening. That's all. That's like a movie or like a dream. That understanding should be thorough. Then there is no punarjanma. That is what he is trying to say. Maam upetya na punarjanma. Don't look for going here and there. It's all there in the Shastra. There are people who are looking for it. Mukha padikira, Swamiji always used to make fun. Mukha padichinde irpaan. என்னடா பண்ண பாதி லைஃப் முக்க பிடிச்சே ஓடி போயிடுது. So, say somebody lives 10 years etc. by doing pranayama. What is the big deal? What you did in those 10 years? Pranayama. So it doesn't make any great reading. So that's what, listen, we have to be very clear in our objective in life. That's what is keeps on telling. Even though he talks about Krama Mukti is there in the Shastra, there is karma, there is upasana, there is meditation, there is yoga, yogis are there, vatakalan karda, retakalan karda, talagalan karda, all those things are there. It's all appreciated to that extent that it helps you to, in the sense, be a meditative person. By being a meditative person, what do you want to do? You want to learn. What do you want to learn? Oneness. That is what should be our objective should be. That's what he keeps on time and again keeps telling that. Yeah.
I have a see these rishis, they have been doing penance, and that is also similar to the yoga that we are doing. What you said.
Yeah, that's all there. Lot of mention is there in the Shastra.
Do they not understand whatever we are talking now? And do they go to some Brahmaloka or join or become become a part of Bhagavan?
Yeah, that is what. See, the thing is that there is this, in the Sampradaya itself, there are instances, people who do a lot of penance, they want to go to Vishnu Loka, they want to go to Brahma Loka, all those things have been there. Yamadharmaraja himself says, he tells, the Kathopanishad, he tells Nachiketas, who is asking for Brahma Jnanam, Atma Jnanam, He said, you are more intelligent than me. I should have asked for this. Instead, I did lot of tapas to come to Brahma Loka, and here I came and I gave me Yamadharma Raja's post. I made a mistake. I should have been like you. You are at the age of 10, you have got greater wisdom compared to me. He himself tells. He went to Brahma Loka, and thereafter he understood that he has to understand Atma Jnanam. Then he got it from Brahmaji. Then only he became a qualified teacher for Brahma Jnanam. Then he teaches Nachiketas. But what he says is this sort of a thing. Since again all these things have been written down. We have not seen any of these things. We have only got it from the rishis, from the Upanishads and all that, authentic texts. Why it is told? So that you are clear as to what you should be doing. You should not be looking for penance and other things to go to places, rather than understand the oneness with Ishvara. So it is a sort of, as I was telling, Stuti Nindar Nyayam. In the sense, Shastra itself, in order to praise something, something else is put down. And something else, which is supposed to be, people have a great value for, the pitfalls, unless it is pointed out, people will not have the value for the correct thing. So, Brahma Jnanam, understanding life, the wholesome understanding of life, should be our objective. In order to praise that, not to create the value for that, the other things are told that those things do not help. They are part of the Dukkhalayam only. That is what is. There is again a Nyaya. It is a way in which Shastra explains. To praise something, something else is, the pitfalls in something else is pointed out. Because some people understand by understanding the negativities other than what is right. Some people understand the virtue and they follow. Some people understand the pitfalls in following a vice. People, then only they will understand. My God, I should not touch that. I should not touch drugs. I should not touch alcohol. I should come. Unless there is a negative fallout of drug and alcohol or emphasize, people will not come to the right path. But some people, they have got enough wisdom. Don't touch alcohol, they won't touch. They won't even try it. So like that it is. People are different. So the Shastra is not ways and means of explaining to various people coming with various background. Some people, the negativities have to be emphasized. Some people, the truth has to be emphasized. If you follow this, you will understand the truth, then you will not have confusion. Both are being told. Alternately, it's being told. That's what is happening.
Brahma Guna Loka Punaravartinaha. The worlds where beings exist up to Brahma Loka lead back. The prefix A 33.
Yeah, that's what. Ang Maryada. Brahma Bona Loka. The word, no? It is in grammar, it is called Ang Maryada. Be without, the sense to emphasize Brahma Bhavana Loka. Even though Brahma Loka is supposed to be very great, Brahma Bhavana Loka, even that is part of your birth and death cycle only. Going there doesn't solve your problem. That's what he says, Brahma Bhavana Loka. Yeah.
The prefix A has the meaning of up to, that is, it indicates the limit of something. It may or may not include the point of demarcation. Therefore, the expression Brahma Bhuvanat Lokaha, all the worlds up to Brahma Loka, either include Brahma Loka or may not include Brahma Loka. We have to analyze the context and see if Brahma Loka is included or not. In this section, Bhagavan is saying that anything created, which is everything other than Paramatma, is by nature something from which you will return, Punaravartinaha. Since all the lokas, including Brahma Loka, are created, Brahma Loka, otherwise called Satya Loka or Krita Loka, is also included in the description Punaravartinaha. So here, the meaning of A is up to and including. Bhuvana means the world in which beings exist. Brahma in this verse is Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji, who resides in Brahma Loka. Therefore, Brahma Bhuvana refers to Brahma Loka, where Brahmaji resides. When the Lord says all the worlds up to and including Brahma Loka or Punaravartinaha, what it means is that they are subject to destruction. This world, the very ground on which you are standing, is perishable, as is your physical body. If this world is destroyed, there is no possibility of you remaining to witness the destroyed world because your body is part of it. Nor is there any question of you retaining this physical body no matter where you go. The physical bodies and the worlds in which they exist are subject to destruction. There is a time when everything must dissolve in the cause, and there is not a single place in the creation which is going to survive Mahapralaya, the final dissolution. Therefore, the Lord says, Arjuna, if you are planning to go to Brahmaloka or any other loka, you will have to return because all the lokas, including Brahmaloka, are subject to destruction. There is one possible exception to this in the case of some people. Shruti allows that those who go to Brahmaloka may not come back. This is not merely because they have gone there, but being there, if Brahmaji teaches them, they come to understand that Atma is Parameshwara. They are thereby freed and they do not come back. Therefore, even those people are freed and do not come back, not by virtue of going to Brahmaloka, but because of knowledge. Mam upetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. But having reached me, Kaunteya, there is no further birth. How do they reach Parameshwara, who is not located in this or any other loka? And if they have to go somewhere to reach Parameshwara, they have to come back. They reach him in terms of knowledge. As Sat Chit Ananda Atma, they are not separate from Parameshwara. They reach him by knowing his Brahman, which is Sat Chit Ananda Atma, out of which this creation has come, and which is the very truth of everything. Reaching Ishvara in this manner by knowledge, they do not have rebirth. Otherwise, all lokas are subject to time, and for that reason alone, one has to return from there. How long one remains there does not matter. It is still not eternal. Here two questions are implied. Why are all the lokas such that one must return from them? Because they are subject to time.
Swamiji, we have this Ranganatha Swami from Brahmaloka which was brought. We have Guru Ayappan where after the Srishti it was reinstalled in Kerala. Now, are those deities as a form of proof that these lokas exist and we just have to prostrate and get to that level to understand and do it? Is it like that? Why these?
See, most of these ancient temples and all this sthala, all have a Puranic background. Like the Puranas and they are complementary. The temples that have been constructed with the Agama, Vidhi and all that, they have fallen in line with the Puranas and the lokas that have been described. So people who have Shraddha, who are studying this Bhagavata and all that, whenever they see a temple which depicting those stories and falling in line with the Agama Shastra, they have the Shraddha and they go and that is there, very much there. They are called Agama Vidhi based temples. They are all part of the Purana, part of our scriptures. It is all very much linked to our scriptures and all that. So there is some sanctity in that. In the sense, once you go there and pray, you will get the bhavana of what you read in Bhagavata and all that. So that helps. It helps in developing that Shraddha and the Bhakti which you have been studying, and what you study you are going and seeing in the temple and you get connected and all that. It is all there, very much there. But how far, but what is being talked about is all said and done, all of them are only like, it is only a manifestation of Bhakti, meaning you are only, it helps you in doing the meditation, in the sense, you get out of your individual smallness, you get connected to something big, Ishvara's bhavana, instead of Sarupa, Ishvara's bhavana, like everything, all that is here is Ishvara. So you were able to surrender, tan man sab kuch tera hai, like the sense you are able to surrender all your glories belong to Bhagavan. So to that extent, your ego gets deflated, your expectation on life, your ability to absorb pain and pleasure and surrendering the whole thing to Ishvara, that to that extent helps. All this helps. But we should not stop that. That is what it is. Having gained that Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi, having surrendered, having that Karma Pala, Data and Ishvara Arpanam, all those things, is only doing a groundwork to understand that what the Shastra finally says, or the Upanishad what it says, Aham Brahma Asmi, all those things. In the sense, you have to understand that by what you have surrendered and what has been governed by, both of them belong to the same level of reality of coming and going, changing. And what is changeless is your Sarupa, and changeless is Ishvara Sarupa also. That oneness is what is Mukti. So it takes you away from the cycle of birth and death. So that is what you should aim for. All other things are valid up to the point that it helps you to gain this Antakarana Shuddhi. So that's what even in Bhagavad Gita, yo yam yam, whomsoever praise me in whatever form, I bless them. Why? Because they will get the Antakarana Shuddhi. Eventually they will ask the question what it is all about. Then you will understand. They will get a guru, they will get Shastra, Acharya, Upadeshana. You will understand that Aham Brahmasmi. So that is the thing. So everything is valid. You don't have to question. If at all you are going to some temple, definitely follow the practices and do it. But what is it all about? What for? The idea is to gain that Antakarana Shuddhi wherein I can study and understand. And the understanding is oneness with, because there is no, that is the ultimate in life, in human life, that is the maximum evolution, oneness with Ishvara. And automatically it means there is no birth and death, because even if there is birth and death, it is part of the manifestation, it's all my manifestation, or Ishvara's manifestation, either way you call it. That is the understanding. So it doesn't really matter, even if you are born, you will be born, Bhagavan himself says, if you understand the way in which I say, you are also avatara. Simple, that is how it is. So our objective is not whether you have Janma, whether there is, our objective is freedom, understanding, wholesome understanding of life, where there is no doubt. That should be our way of approach. Yeah.
Verse 17, the day and night of Brahmaji. You are able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Sahasra Yuga Paryanta Maharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Tehoratra Vido Janaha. Ye Janaha, those people, Ahoratra Vidaha, who know about the day and night, they, yet Brahmanaha aha, that which is the day of Brahmaji.
Ahaha means day, Ratri means night. Ahaha, Brahmanaha, ahaha means Brahmaji is ahaha. Yeah, the day of Brahmaji.
Ahaha. That which is the day of Brahmaji, that Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, as that which consists of 1000 yugas. Viduhu, no, Brahmanaha, Ratrim, cha, and night of Brahmaji, Yuga Sahasra Antam, measuring 1000 yugas. Viduhu, no. Those people who know about the day and night know that a day of Brahmaji consists of 1000 yugas and a night of Brahmaji measuring 1000 yugas. People who know about Brahmaji's day and night know that Brahmaji's one day consists of 1000 yugas. Here the word yuga refers to a Mahayuga. So the day of Brahmaji is 1000 Mahayugas and the night of Brahmaji is 1000 Mahayugas. One Mahayuga consists of 4 yugas, Satya, Dwapara, Treta and Kali. Kali Yuga is 432,000 years in length. Dwapara Yuga is twice that is 864,000 years. Treta is 3 times Kali Yuga, that is 1,296,000 years. Then Satya Yuga is 4 times Kali Yuga, that is 1,728,000. So complete Mahayuga is 4,320,000 years in length. 1,000 of these is one day of Brahmaji, 4,322,000,000 years. 320 million years. 400, 320 million years. When Brahmaji's night begins, all the lokas are destroyed. So after 4,320,000,000 years, all of creation except Brahmaloka is destroyed. Night comes and Brahmaji goes to sleep. When you go to sleep, your world is dissolved. So it is logical that when Brahmaji goes to sleep, the entire creation is gone except for Brahmaloka. Then creation remains dissolved for 4,320,000,000 years. And again it begins when Brahmaji wakes up and his day begins. Brahmaji's longevity is 100 years, called a kalpa, and at the end of it, there is the destruction of Brahmaloka too. This is what those people who calculate time with reference to Brahmaji's day and so on know. The purpose of saying this here is to indicate that even though they are 4,320,000,000 years, they are still countable because they are limited by time in this way. They are all places from which one must return. So going to a loka including Brahmaloka is not going to help. Such a long length of time is still subject to time. There is no eternal heaven because in time there is no eternity. Then what is eternity? Only now, which is not subject to time. There is no other eternity, and that indeed is Atma, which is Parameshwara.
Yeah, so all these calculations are told for us to develop a Vairagya. In spite of all that, whatever it is, you are anyway time bound. So, whereas Atma is eternity, here and now, you can gain that. Once you understand that I am Atma, Brahma, then you are eternity. You are eternity. It is not you are in eternity. Eternity is you. Thy name is you. Like Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not infallible. Infallibility, thy name is Bhagavan. So that is how we have to understand. That is how we have to. That is what we should not. We should not aim for something less than being one with Bhagavan. That is the whole objective of the Shastra.
The beauty is that this calculation comes only in chapter 8 actually. Many people in some of the Bhagavad Gita Upanyasams, it's in the first part itself that this calculation is explained actually.
It fascinates people, no? Once you say all these things, fascinates people. So Upanyasakara have their own style. It's not.
It is sensational.
Yeah, they have to attract people, right? There is an objective, there is an agenda behind all that. Yeah.
Verse 18, Avyaktat Vyaktaya Sarvaha Prabhavantya Ragame Ratrayagame Praniyante Tatre Vakya
Tatraiva avyakta sanyake. Tatraivavyakta sanyake. Yeah.
Tatraivavyakta sanyake. Aharagame, at the beginning of the day of Brahmaji, Avyaktat, from the unmanifest, Sarvaha Vyaktaka, all things that are manifest. Prabhavanti, arise, Ratri Agame, at the beginning of the night of Brahmaji, Avyakta Samnyake, in that which is called unmanifest, Tatra Eva, in that alone, Praliyante, they resolve. At the beginning of the day, all things that are manifest arise from the unmanifest. At the beginning of the night, they resolve in that alone which is called unmanifest. Avyaktat Vyaktaya Sarvaha Prabhavanti Aharagame. From the unmanifest comes all the manifest forms when the day of Brahmaji breaks. From the sleep of Brahmaji arise the manifest individuals, sun, moon, stars, the mobile, immobile sentient and insentient entities and the places where they exist. Just as from our sleep our day or dream manifests, similarly from Brahmaji's sleep the whole creation has come about. Brahmaji is nothing but Parameshwara. There is one step further. This is one step further. Everything is Parameshwara and Brahmaji is not an entity other than him. Only from the standpoint of creation do we say that from Brahmaji alone everything has come. Brahmaji is non-separate from Ishvara and from Ishvara everything comes. When does this happen? At the break of day. In other words, when Brahmaji wakes up, the creation arises, comes into manifestation. Ratri agame praliyante tatra eva avyakta samyake. Similarly, Ratri agame, when Brahmaji's night comes, after 4,320 million years, all things that are manifest dissolve, praliyante, where they go back to the cause, the condition called unmanifest, avyakta samyake, which is Brahmaji's sleep. Like even our own world that resolves into us in sleep, night after night, and comes back again day after day, so too, when Brahmaji's day comes, there is creation, and when his night begins, there is dissolution. This goes on 36,000 times. Then Brahmaji's life is over, and Brahmaji is also destroyed. Brahmaloka is also destroyed, and only Parameshwara remains. That Parameshwara, Krishna says, is me. If you reach me, you do not get into the cycle. I am the only survivor, the only one who is Nitya, eternal, Sat, Chit, Ananda. From this we understand Brahman is Satya, the world is Mithya, anything subject to the three periods of time is Mithya. It is not that it did not exist in the past and is existent now. It is not that it existed in the past and is not existent now. Again, it is not that it is not existent now but will be existent in the future. All the lokas, their residents and lords, can be negated in all three periods of time. They are other than Brahman, meaning Brahman is independent of them, while they are not independent of Brahman. Anything that Brahman is independent of is called loka. Within the loka are many jivas, including the devatas who are in charge. But being subject to time, they are subject to death. Then what is Satya? What is not subject to the three periods of time? In the past it was, in the present it is, in the future it will be, and it can only be one Chaitanya Atma. Being the very basis of time, Satya Atma is Nitya. What is eternal? What exists is only one, that is Brahman, which is Atma. And the creation, which is by nature an observable object, is Mithya. Anything seen is Mithya, it is perishable. This here, however, can objectify every time.
Even time.
Objectify even time and is therefore the basis of time, eternal, which is Atma. Brahman, the only one not subject to time. Krishna says that alone is Nitya and it is himself. This is what Bhagavan means when he says here, Mam upetya punar janma na apnuvanti. Reaching me, they do not gain another birth.
That is what is the earlier verse, 8.15. Mam upetya is the key word. Mam upetya meaning upaya bhutam. Upaya is what I have told, tool by which you understand upetyam. Upetyam meaning understanding. So only by understanding you can get out of all these things, get out of all this. In the sense, there is no real creation, there is no production at all. There is just a question of removing the ignorance. Once you remove the ignorance, what is, and it is always. And that is what is Atma, that is what is Brahman, which we have seen in the first 6-7 chapters, what we have seen, again and again it is emphasized. So only by wholesome understanding of life, you are calling a halt to this cycle of birth and death. So in all our life, Vedic life as well as karma, upasana, all the yoga, all this meditation, everything is only an upaya for you to get a internal infrastructure ready when the Shastra Acharya tells you that you are Brahman, you are Desakala Vastu Aparichin, here and now. And that here and now is the only thing. Every other time and space is purely a manifestation. In the sense, manifestation of my reality available for transaction. So that why it is available for transaction? Because you don't understand. Till the time you understand, you have to be kept sane. You have to be kept a dharmic person. For that, all this infrastructure is given. But once you understand all these things, do not really matter. Here and now, you and Brahman alone exist. That understanding has to be clear. That is what the whole thing is again and again emphasized.
When Krishna uses the first person, singular with reference to himself, he means Paramatma and not the historical Krishna. It can be argued that if this is so, why should he say, reaching me, you are freed from birth? If it is Atma that you must know, then why should Krishna not say, knowing oneself, Atmanam Jnatva? He did not say so because that is not enough. You have to know that Ishvara is Atma. By the statement knowing me, Krishna equates Ishvara and the Jiva. This equation is the whole teaching, pointing out that Pratyagatma is consciousness alone is not the Upadesha teaching. That Pratyagatma and Parameshwara are identical is the teaching, which is why Bhagavan frequently says, reaching me, you are freed, meaning recognizing me as Atma, you are freed. Only with this kind of equation does it become a teaching equivalent to Tat Tvam Asi, otherwise it will be experiential. Dismissal of thoughts is not what is being taught here. It is knowledge that I am everything which is being taught. To point out this identity, Bhagavan says, Mam upetya punarjanma na apnuvanti. This jiva reaching me does not gain another birth. Knowing he is Brahman, he knows that he is eternal. Knowing Atma is knowing Brahman because there is no Brahman other than Atma. Those who recognize Atma as Nitya Brahma do not return to another birth.
See, most important, the first 6 chapters, which I have always been, that knowing Atma, in the sense you have the discipline, you have the honesty and the Shraddha, you can here and now understand that Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam, timeless, spaceless and objectless. There is not a thing, this is a being, this is my reality, which we can, all of us can, if we have the discipline and the honesty, we can understand. Right now we can understand Atma is the same in all of us, including our body, mind, senses, emotions, activities, name, fame, everything. I am able to observe as part of my setup. This is a setup in which I operate. The world relates to me, I relate to the world. I am able to see all that. Who is that who sees that? Who sees that is Atma. That much of understanding right now we can have it. Pratyaksham, it is aparoksham, meaning it is you here and now. But then what it is all about? What this whole world is all about? But everything is connected through a niyati, there is an order there, the physical order is there, psychological order is there, chemical order is there, everything is there, it's all functioning. Then what is the validation? In order to validate all that, they are all nothing but the expression of this Purna Atma. That is being emphasized by saying that Atma is Brahman. That is what this 8th chapter is talking about. Adhyatma, Adibhaudika, Adidevika, all are the expression, the vibhutis of the same being, Purna Atma. How? It is transcendent and immanent. Without, which I have explained through that message which I have been sending you, that if you look at the pot, it is nothing but clay. If you look at clay, it is nothing but chemical carbon hydrogen. If you look at it, it is nothing. Finally, it comes to particle, electron, finally they are only concept, and the concept residence in me, the I, the being. So I, the being, illumines all the way up to part. So they are all only names and forms, but orderly linked. That is why it is called creation. Otherwise, it is just manifestation of my reality or Ishvara's reality. But they are orderly linked. That is why it's called creation. Creation means there is some intelligence involved. It is not just matter and energy, but also intelligence put together and available for transaction for yugas and yugas. 432,000 million years, they are all available for transaction. They are all kept like that, and they are all functioning in a very cyclic manner properly, and they are all my vibhuti. That understanding for us, that only this other vichara. Otherwise, the 6th chapter itself is enough. The Tvampadartha, Tatpadartha and the world, Ishvara and the world is explained how the manifestation comes about, how it is Adi Bhautika, how it is Adi Devikam. What you are doing as karma, what is your upasana, what is dharma, what is the order, physical order, psychological order, chemical order. All these things are explained in the subsequent chapters. That is what he is saying. That is why it is not enough for you to know that I am Atma, but I am Atma, Brahma is the total understanding. I am Atma is easy to understand. In the sense, if you have the Shraddha, even that people may not understand, that's a different thing. But if you have the Shraddha, you will understand that. The Tvampadartha. Because that is where is proximity. You can understand only yourself first. And then you have to understand. Once you understand yourself first, then you have to look around and validate. Everyone, the Atma in every one of us is the same being. And what about all these things? All these things are the manifestation of the same Atma. Creation is because it is intelligence that is linking all these orders. That you have to respect. You have to reverentially look at it and do whatever is to be done. But eventually understanding that I am Atma Brahma. Like Bhagavan, as he rightly says, I always say, wherever Bhagavan says Mam, you put yourself in it. Then it all becomes your vibhuti. The whole life is nothing but my vibhuti. Okay, it is better to call it as Ishvara's vibhuti. And Ishvara is nothing but you. You don't exist, only Ishvara exists. So that both the understanding is equally important. That we cannot ignore one at the cost of the other. That is what is important. Yeah.
To point out this identity, Bhagavan says, Mam upetye punarjanma naapnuvanti. This jiva reaching me does not gain another birth. Knowing he is Brahman, he knows that he is eternal. Knowing Atma is knowing Brahman because there is no Brahman other than Atma. Those who recognize Atma as Nitya Brahma do not return to another birth. Those who go to Brahmaloka, etc., however, do come back to assume another birth, and to go to Brahmaloka, the effort required is extraordinary. It involves elaborate karma backed with complex upasanas. Even if you achieve it, you have to come back again unless Brahmaji has taught you, for which you require some extra punya. Everyone who goes to Brahmaloka does not get a chance to be taught. Gaining Brahman, on the other hand, is easy because it is your nature. Since I am so easily available, why do you turn away from me and make efforts to reach lokas? It is the intention here.
We will stop here. So see, Bhagavan himself, even when Bhagavan says, Arjuna still has doubt. That is the beauty of it.
Actually, Swamiji, this strikes us that they say one manifest to manifest. That means we are all only having this body now.
Actually, it is a manifestation of the vibhuti, the whole thing, no, the time itself, no, the time itself, only now is the only time. Every other time is purely memory. Every other time is only memory. Because of that time memory, you say yesterday and today, tomorrow and all that. Whereas the cognitive time is only now. Okay, you always see now. Tomorrow also will become now. Yesterday also was now. But because of your memory, you connect yesterday, today, tomorrow, then there is a world. In your own world, you create. So who is the creator? You are the creator. Bhagavan doesn't say I have created. Bhagavan Sadeva, he says, Sad, I am always there. But he has given you a faculty wherein all this is possible. Like even a movie, like even a dream merchant. You can be a dream merchant. You are really a dream merchant of your life. Every one of us is a dream merchant. We have our own worlds and we live in, and we say, well, then finally we say, why Bhagavan has created this world? He said, I have not created. I am there like you. You understand that you are like me, then you are free, I am also free. So beautiful it is. In the sense, it has to be like this because we know science and everything, we know that it's all so much of what you call intelligence is involved. And when there is a Purna intelligence, which is not bound by time, space or object, and that Purna intelligence has to be like this only. It has to be so powerful and so full, unless you discern it, you can get caught in it. Because it is so powerful. It is your own vibhuti it is. You can't blame anybody else. You can't look around. You have to say it's my own vibhuti. Then there is no issue. If it is my own vibhuti, a game which I have created, I will not curse. The person who has created the IPL will not curse. He is making money. But everyone else is cursing each other.
No, that's not the simple thing. The simple thing that everything Dehana Atmana. Other at least we can think that this Deham is not Atma because it is only coming.
Please say it, Swamiji. You are hearing Swamiji?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Went off for a minute. Yeah. Tell me.
Dehame Atma I was thinking Deham is Atma. If we think, because we give importance to the body, but if you think that it's come from unmanifest to manifest, then goes back to unmanifest, that we just now read. So that is to show that this is not true. What we are having, the body is not true. It's something anadi. We have come from somewhere, now we are carrying this, we will go back. So if that feeling at least persists, we won't give much.
Yeah, very true. If that understanding sinks in, our this identification with our body and mind and everything that comes along with that will stop. That understanding is what is important. What comes and goes will keep on coming and going. What is Shashvatam is only I, the being. So that itself will create that de-link. The sense, not dissociate. By way of understanding, you will not identify with body and mind. Because the identification with body and mind alone creates all the problems. In the sense, if you don't identify, you will be able to take care of the body-mind relationship, everything in proper shape, in the right proportion. You will not give disproportionate attention to body-mind or relationship and all that. So even for sane living, this disidentification with body and mind is important. And the disidentification is not a condition, it is a reality. It is based on reality understanding. So my emphasis has always been on reality understanding. We cannot say I will not understand reality. Okay, you can say I don't want to become Vishwara. But you can't say I won't understand reality.
Yes.
There is no choice. So that is what we should look for, aim for. Okay. See, one thing because I wanted to tell you. Next Saturday, Sunday will be Sunday night I am leaving for Rishikesh. Thereafter 2 weeks there won't be classes. That is 7th and 8th will be our last class. Thereafter, after 2 weeks, once I come back, 25th I will come back, they will have the class. So 7th and 8th will have 2 classes, that's all. Yeah. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate.